I think you got to get, my opinion, you got to get the whole story. Because this organization, its evolution is inextricably tied to my personal journey. If I could turn back the clock and be 18 again, I'd do it exactly the same way. I'd get my dumb ass thrown out of prep school again because I learned a lot of hard lessons I never forgot. I'd grind through West Point. I'd marry the same lady all over again, and I'd fight this war with just as much enthusiasm, knowing in advance the cost, but I'd fight it with just as much enthusiasm and determination. My dream was to serve in the 75th Ranger Regiment, right? Professional dream in uniform. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. But I got to try. So off to the Army I go. You know, I come back on leave, and what I had considered to be my little sister, my best friend's little sister, had grown up. And we went out on a date in 97. Dan and I got married. Went off to Korea together, 2 years there, and so I got hired out of my Korea assignment to the 3rd Ranger Battalion, and we were off to the races. When I left Korea, I got assigned to 3rd Ranger Battalion. I taught some of my buddies how to duck hunt. We chased wood ducks around beaver ponds. I could get up in the morning, ridiculous hours, go kill my 3 wood ducks and be home before Katie Grace was out of bed screaming for her cheesy scrambled eggs, right? And the whole time we were out there chasing wood ducks, you know, the age-old question, how hard's a guy willing to work for 3 wood ducks? Pretty hard. I kept telling stories about Arkansas duck hunting. I'm like, hey, we gotta go chase big ducks. We gotta shoot greenheads right in the face. This is huge, right? 9/11 goes down. I'm the Charlie Company 3rd Ranger Battalion commander. I'd been in command 6 months. You know, everybody remembers where they were on 9/11. I was standing in the little playroom that we had, shaving my head. My mother-in-law calls and says, you need to turn the TV on, something happened in New York, and turn the TV on just in time to see the 2nd aircraft hit the World Trade Center. So my wife looks at me and says, so what's this do of our chances of deploying? I'm like, well, they just got exponentially greater. Long story short, 19 October 2001, 198 of my closest friends and I boarded 4 aircraft, flew 3 hours and 52 minutes, opened the doors 800 feet off the ground and parachuted into southern Afghanistan to start the war in the South. And these guys that are here this weekend were all with me. That was the beginning of a 20-year war. Eight times I would tell my wife goodbye over the next 17 years. So we deployed September of 2001, came back late December, early January, and we had Martin Luther King weekend, 4-day weekend in January. Like, let's go, boys. I talked all this stuff about Arkansas duck hunting, and we killed 17 ducks in 4 days. And I was personally and professionally embarrassed. Boys had a great time, but I'm like, we're doing it next year. And we went back the next year, we killed like 38, and the next year we killed like 46, and then 75, and the number kept climbing. And in 2007, we had this little reception at my parents' house, because my parents would host us, and I had this epiphany that this weekend is not about how many ducks you can kill. It's about being with men you've shared some really hard days with and making sure they're okay.
The idea was to get people who haven't seen each other in a long time back together. The hunting component is the icing on the cake. It really is what makes the whole thing special. It's very much tailored to a similar experience that a guy would have going on target. There's the planning, there's the execution, and then there's you come back and there's the AAR part of it, and you eat some chow. Duck hunting is a great model for that because You can be quiet when the ducks are working, but you can also cut up when they're not. And so it's a really good opportunity for guys to continue to socialize throughout the entire weekend. It's action packed, it's fast, it's wing shooting. So there's a lot of fun that comes along with that alone, and it really helps the guys become comfortable, being around each other again, and it really allows them to have that ebb and flow of emotion that eventually at the end of the weekend turns into them being able to decompress. As the weekend progresses, the wall comes down a lot more, and it really lets you kind of see behind the veil of what somebody's struggling with. And it was a really good opportunity for you to reconnect, let that guy know that things are okay, that you're struggling with the same stuff. Talk about the issues that you have, and then move forward from there. So it's a lot deeper than just fellowship and friendship. It's really checking in on your buddy, making sure he's doing good.
You retire, you get out of the Army, number one, you look around the room, where are my people? And your people aren't there. And then you dig a little deeper and say, what's my purpose? Where am I going? I mean, what am I chasing? And for a while, you can't answer that.
So, I got out of the military, right at 6 years, and war was dying down. I was ready to get out, and I did struggle there for about 6 months getting out, because what I'd planned to do wasn't panning out, and I didn't really have a plan after that. And it was tough. Like, I kind of got in a little dark place there for a minute, but it was short term, 6 months, figured it out, and then got on track to go to school. And then once I had a purpose and a goal to get after, I was straight after that, But I think that's the biggest thing, transition to me, is you got to have a purpose, you got to have a goal.
I grew up the son of an Army chaplain. I went to vacation Bible school every summer. And I tried to reconcile, those 10 little phrases. One says, thou shalt not kill, with everything that I've done overseas. And I couldn't get it done. I couldn't make sense of that. And I decided the world was a better place without me. And I went out behind the garage, and I found my spot, and I needed one more bad day. The guy had recommended I go to a program called Home Base. Guy like you've been running hard, use a tune-up. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. Just go find you a good therapist, get a tune-up. I'm like, I don't need a tune-up. And so when I got in this really dark place, I said, I'll go give it a try. A week later, Steve Durant introduced himself by email. A few days after that, I went for my first visit. And for an hour every week, we'd sit down and laugh and cry some more. And unpack all this stuff from all these deployments and lay it out on the floor and look at it and talk about it and reconcile with all of it. And then neatly fold it up and set it back in the closet. It's all still there, but it's just not stuffed in there, and the door pushed shut tight enough so it would just latch. My epiphany from that experience was these guys that run hard have to go through this process. They have to reconcile with everything they did. And there's some options out there. And a lot of them are unhealthy options. I just had this clarity that I know what my purpose is. And I'm gonna give it a try. At that point I said, we, Darby's Warrior Support, can pivot. And so we shifted our focus to the special operations community. No Purple Heart required to play. Just guys that have been doing our nation's heavy lifting for a really long time. We named it the Patriot Outpost for the patriots that fought our nation's longest war and for the patriots that donated and made it possible. And now we're sitting in a 10-bedroom, 10-bath, incredible lodge, great pavilion, fire pit in it, 2 pistol bays, 100-yard rifle range, 6.5-acre lake full of fish, beautiful dock, 2 boats with trolling motors. It's everything a ranger wants to do on a weekend with his clothes on inside 38.6 acres. And it's a wonderland. We don't invite 8 random dudes. We invite 1 person. And we say, bring 7 people that are important to you. And when you know you've done it right, you get these guys, these other 7 guys. They're like, dude, I don't know anything about duck hunting. Only thing I've ever shot with a shotgun is a doorknob. Breaching a room. Never shot at anything moving. And you take them out of the skeet range and you retrain them, and you spend this time together and they share this camaraderie, and over the course of the weekend one of them comes up to you and says, dude, I had no idea what I was getting into. Bob invited me to Arkansas, of all places, to go on a duck hunt. Never been interested in duck hunting, never really knew anything about it. But now that I've come here and I've experienced this, if I could come back, I could tell you exactly who I'd bring with me. And you see this team reunited that hadn't seen each other since those hard days in southern Afghanistan or central Iraq, wherever they served together. There's instant chemistry, there's instant love, and it's a powerful reunion. And it's just awesome to watch. Until you've sat with people, men, that you've shared some incredibly hard days with, in the dark, in a duck blind, and just listen to nature come alive. The wings overhead, the quacks, the different sounds the ducks make, the splashing, the sun starting to break the horizon. There's a peace. There's an incredibly powerful peace with that moment. And then when the shooting starts, there's joy, there's laughter, there's trash talking, there's a celebration, right? And there's a profound appreciation and profound peace and healing with those moments in the duck blind. It's been a hell of a journey, and here we are, and I'm looking forward to where it goes from here.